Good morning and welcome to day one here at SMTAi 2019. Always got a packed program at this show. It's the best technical conference in the United States, and this year is absolutely no exception. It is a Productronica year, so you would expect that there's not going to be an awful lot of new innovation here this week, but you would be wrong. There's quite a few new things that we're going to be looking at, and the first of them is sitting right next to me. Welcome Chris Frederickson, who's the Director of Engineering at Insituware. You're a division of Systems Innovation Engineering.
Yep.
Welcome, Chris.
Thanks.
Okay, so you're here to tell us today about a really novel new measurement product. It's an inspection and measurement device for measuring cleanliness of boards and various other features. Tell us a little bit about it, would you?
Yeah, so what we have here is we're coming out with a new handheld device for the inspection and quality control of materials used in manufacturing. So we're trying to bring many of the new measurement capability to the factory floor for applications such as cleanliness testing and measuring whether or not a solder paste is fit for use and will print properly.
Right. So this is the device here I'm looking at, and I believe that it's this is the measurement part of it, but you have different modules that plug into the end of it. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what we have here is we are able to, it's a modular platform where we're able to expand the functionality with new capabilities such as electrochemical measurements and near-infrared spectroscopy for many different applications.
Right. So tell me a little bit more about how each of these works. I mean, first of all, you're looking at the cleanliness testing. How does the module work?
Yeah, so the way we're approaching this is we're really looking at the underlying mechanism of corrosion. So in this particular case, the module, the way it works is we're looking at electrochemical corrosion measurements using an approach called TAFL analysis, where we're able to look at actually the amount of metal that's being removed from the surface, which is really the underlying mechanism of corrosion here.
Right, okay. So, and it's not dissimilar to SIR, surface insulation resistance, is it?
Yep, so the difference between SIR and what we're doing is SIR is actually looking at the result of the corrosion. So you're looking at the result of that dendritic growth.
Right.
In this particular case, we're looking at the underlying mechanism of that corrosion that would then result in the SIR test performance.
Okay. So what other modules do you have that plug into this unit?
Yeah, sure. So the first one that we're launching with is the electrochemical measurement. The next one is using near-infrared spectroscopy, where we can identify the source of a residue and other applications as well.
Right. So obviously, being a handheld device in nature, it's gathering the information immediately, so you're getting real-time results on the factory floor.
Absolutely. So the benefit of this is we're able to actually push that measurement capability to the floor itself. So you can really gain insights immedially.
So is the plan to develop more modules to do other types of measurement testing in the factory?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So presumably if somebody buys the one handheld unit, then they can invest or not invest in the new modules as they come out.
Absolutely. So we're building it as a completely modular platform, so we can both deploy new functionality by releasing a new module, or if there are other materials that we can measure using the same technique, remotely deploy new functionality purely in software.
Great, okay. So is this unit available now, or is it due to be launched sometime in the future?
It will be available in Q1 of next year, and we're rolling into our beta test period right now.
Okay. So I'm guessing people can find out more information on your website, which is that insituware.com?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great. Well, Chris, thank you very much for coming in today and telling us about the new machine. Does it have a name or a model number?
It is called the Vision Mark 1.
Okay, the Vision Mark 1. So there you go. Brand new product there from Insituware. Coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to one of the key electronics manufacturing companies in the country, Valtronic.
Sponsored by Panasonic. Smart factory solutions for any mix, any volume, Introducing the new NPM W2S, the ideal placement solution for manufacturers who value reduced setup and changeover time over volume.
Okay, and welcome back. I'm joined by Jay Wimer from Valtronic, and it's one of the medium-sized EMS companies here in the United States. But you're a Swiss headquartered company, is that correct, Jay?
That's correct. We have a Swiss headquarters, and we have a full manufacturing plant in Switzerland, as well as a plant for low-cost solutions in Morocco.
Morocco's an interesting location. What made you choose that?
Well, one, because they speak French as well as Arabic, so that's kind of the tie to the French-speaking part of Switzerland.
Right.
And it's a favored nation so that we can get duty-free product out of Morocco and assist our customers with cost.
And I guess logistically it's that little bit closer to Europe and to the US than it would be from Asia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your product mix. You're primarily 80% medical device, is that correct?
We're 80% medical devices. Valtronic comes into play where quality is of the utmost importance, and we like to focus on complexity also. So we have a little bit of high-end telecom, as well as some industrial controls, and we touch the aerospace industry slightly.
Right.
So that makes up the other 20%, Trevor.
Right, okay. So obviously, if you're in the high-rel business like that, then quality control is important. What are the key things in the medical industry? I mean,
well, number one, we are 13485, which is ISO standard, and then we are FDA registered. We employ SPI as well as AOI. We have X-ray and other inspection tools. One of the big things with being an FDA registered organization, we pay a lot of attention to our paperwork and documentation, as well as training. That's of the utmost importance.
So documentation, as you said earlier, is obviously very important, and that leads into traceability.
Yes.
And are you looking at, for example, using some of the newer systems that are coming out with CFX and this type of thing to be able to improve your manufacturing lines?
So that's part of the reason I'm here, Trevor. I'm looking at several things, all the way from X-ray counters to some of the storage solutions, all the way through the process.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting area. I think a lot of these X-ray counters are going to end up being part of the storage solutions. I
believe so.
Yeah, that's the way it's going.
Right now, Trevor, we actually do a lot of manual inventory.
Yeah.
And I see that as a place where we can really upgrade our business.
Right. Yeah, I mean, one of the big areas for improving a factory or making it smarter is improving the control of inventory and getting it to the line quicker. So knowing what you've got, where it is, and getting it there quicker is key.
That, as well as the accuracy of that count. If you're missing 2 penny parts, well, that's product you can't get out to patients, right?
Right, absolutely. So you're in the you do some of the implantables and you do some of the external hardware, but you don't do any of the renewable materials that you use in medical.
Not really. Some of the consumer type products or the disposable kind of products.
Right.
That needs to be extremely cost competitive. So there's other sources that would be a better match.
Right.
It's always good to know where your sweet spot is, per se.
Okay. So implantable devices like pacemakers, that type of thing, do you get involved in that?
Usually a lot of the OEMs will do their own pacemakers. We'll do heart monitors, we'll do spinal column stimulators. We've done some work with retinal implants, cochlear implants, so a pretty wide range.
Yeah, great. So what's the 5-year roadmap for Valtronic? Where do you see yourself developing?
Well, taking a look back, we recognized the need to assist customers with design and development engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So we continue that path right now that we're building the engineering group.
Mm-hmm.
That allows us to take product all the way from engineering for a customer all the way through box build, Trevor.
Right.
So, we're continuing that path. We continue to make things smaller. Anybody that talks about implants, you want that as small as possible,
right,
and as light as possible. So,
yeah,
so we focus on that miniaturization.
Yeah, and it's always nice to have a hand in the design at the beginning and not be handed something that's difficult to manufacture.
Everybody talks about design for manufacturability.
Right.
We really like to participate in that because we can truly save customers time and money by that participation.
Absolutely. All right. So you'll be a complete design to final box build manufacturer of
Yes.
medical electronics. Great. Okay. Jay, thank you for coming in and telling us about Valtronic. We look forward to seeing some of that developing over the next year or two. And thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Trevor. Have a good show.
Thank you. So that's it for the morning show today. The feeling around the show floor is that the show is a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, but certainly if you look down the aisles, it's pretty busy. So being well supported again. We'll be back tomorrow with more news from SMTAi, and of course later this morning we're going to be bringing you some panel discussions. So we look forward to catching up with you then.